Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back. I am EBINOTTI, and today we are doing the full moon readings. So if you haven't been around for the last couple of moon cycles, full moon is currently in Capricorn, and it is the second full moon Capricorn in a row. So that's how they double up the calendar and get everything to flow in the way that we calculate our calendar today. So that's what's going on right now. Full moon Capricorn crossed us about a week ago. So we're bringing up the rear with this energy. We've been sitting in it for a little while. So we're going to start with the ether element today, like we always do. And then because it's Capricorn, we're going to do earth. And I want to talk about Capricorn as an energy, as an archetype a little bit right now, especially because it just doubled up. We're getting what feels like a second chance for some of us, what feels like a second wind for the rest of us. Because even if we didn't try anything within the last full moon cycle where anything really big came up, we're getting the kind of wind in our sails to carry us through, because energetically we might have been all over the place. We've talked about the chaos, we've talked about like the chaotic energy within the mental space, and we're definitely going to talk about that more today. Because the thing about the earth energy when it's in Capricorn is if it gets caught anywhere within the upper chakras, it can get really chaotic within the mental space. So the mind can be running amok. That can affect the cardiovascular system if we're not in control of the breath. If you've been around, we've been talking about the breath quite a bit, and it's coming up yet again. So the energy of kind of, you know, working hard or chugging along, or a bit of a repetitive cycle for some of us too, where again that second chance energy is coming up. We get a chance to redo something, retry something, whether that's from way back or something that we, you know, just failed at, or just didn't succeed at in some way. Something didn't work out, we get another chance, we get to do it right this time, things work out. So a lot of the mental space coming in as where we want to be focused, where we want to be really strong. We want to be mentally strong under this full moon Capricorn. And of course, right? So think, what does Capricorn as an archetype typically get the bad reputation of being? Satanic, right? The devil energy, the demonology, all the occult and religious aspects surrounding satanic energy. You know, that's gonna be on the table. It's gonna be part of it. So we're gonna get into it today with the tarot reading. As I said, we're gonna do the ether element first under this full moon Capricorn. So cheers to you as you settle into this energy. I've got an incense and a candle lit for us on the altar today. It took quite a few minutes before we could hit record. Just coming in and trying to settle the energy and get clear in the mental space so that we could feel the messages. Took a extra few deep breaths and some breath work and some meditative clearing within the mental space. So doing some work. And the first message coming through just for the downloads before we get into the tarot reading is the need to maybe take a few extra seconds for yourself. Especially if you're feeling chaotic in the mental space. It's like, whoa, it's really hard to find that focus. Not for all of us. Some of us are fucking superstars out here. When it comes to each element that we discuss, there's going to be superstars. Okay? And as much as we like to discuss being superstars, we got to talk about the general collective. This is the basics, right? That's why we come together collectively in this way. It's just the basics. We read full moon, new moon, and the base level elements that we all work with on a day-to-day basis. You know, no matter who you are, where you're at in your life, you can break the cycles down that we go through naturally with time, with the moon. You can break that down elementally, the way that we do with the seasons. Same difference. Same difference. Okay, so cheers to you as we settle into this energy. It's gonna need a settling today. I had to settle my hair a little bit. It was fucking looking Einstein and all over the place. I had to wash my face because it was just so dry and so like drab, and just it was just so sad, right? And if you see, I got this beautiful bright color on my nails. I haven't painted my nails in a while, and it just needed to like get some life, a second wind up in this energy, you know, because the Capricorn, the beating that we feel like we're taking right now is, oh my goodness, it's next level. You know, this is it really, some of us that we're at the point right now in the year or this season or in our career or some aspect, we're all going through this differently. In some aspect, it's just like, wow, we are really taking a fucking beating right now. And, you know, that's what creates greatness and great warriors, is that kind of experience. And we know that going through it. But sometimes, like I said, the mental space can get really chaotic and we just get all caught up. It's not even just fear. You know, the devil energy loves to play with your fears. And it's not even that. It's like genuinely not in balance, and when things aren't in balance, it's just chaotic. Think of like a really windy day, like it's an intense day. It's a difficult element to deal with when it's, you know, whipping around like it tends to do. The last few moon cycles, we've talked quite a bit about the witchcraft going on out here, and just the different magics and occultists and the different beliefs and the different systems, and then how the ley lines of the earth energetically, we're all on specific parts of the earth, right? And they're connected through certain lines and energetic, like veins in the lungs or the roots of the trees. It's like we're all kind of on specific parts of the ley lines, and if we don't know necessarily what's going on in our area, we might be getting just hit with all of this really intense kind of occultist energy right now, and we might not even realize that's what's going on. So that's the religions going on around you and the really heavy belief systems, no matter if that's religious, occultist, or, you know, other. Let's just put it on other. Because even spirituality now has a very occultist leaning. It's rooted. Spirituality is very often described right now with the New Age movements and the programming of witchcraft. We've talked about that kind of stuff over the last few moon cycles. I highly recommend you go back and check out, when you're done with this one here, that you go back and watch other videos on the channel, the last few moon cycles, anything that calls to you in the messages, or, you know, however you're drawn to the messages. I recommend checking it out if you've been feeling that and you don't really know where it's coming from, or, you know, you're not sure why you're feeling this heaviness, and you know, you're really trying, you're really putting in the energy. It could be just, you know, where you're at and what's going on around you that you just don't realize. You know, it is that simple, that we are all connected. So if there are things going on within our community, our even our family and friends, we know when it's like a really close, that intuitive hit, when like a close inner circle person, family, friend is going through something and we feel kind of heavy, so we're feeling it with them, especially as we read for the feminine. So that's what that feminine energy does. It attracts, it absorbs, it feels. You know, it takes some of the heaviness, the pain, it wants to carry with you. You know, it's a supportive energy. So being females, you know, we do carry a lot of that weight, and it could be as simple as that right now. So a lot of the masculine feminine balance still very relevant. So because full moon Capricorn crossed us about a week ago, and we're coming up a little bit late on this, we've crossed now into Leo season. So let me think. The date today is August 2nd-ish. We're right before new moon Leo. So like I said, bringing up the rear a little bit late, had to like tame things down to be able to sit down and do this today. So that's that feeling of like, oh my God, okay, so now let's talk Capricorn. I'm gonna sip. Cheers to you. And then we're going to talk about Capricorn as an archetype being super, super ambitious. Oh my God, that's so good. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to empty my little ashtray here. We're going to have a little smoke while we talk about it. So Capricorn gets the bad reputation of being, you know, devil energy and all of that. But on the flip side of that, it's a very ambitious energy. So when the mental space is in balance, okay, and those little bursts of feeling good that are coming up currently under full moon, it gets heavy, right? Sometimes, especially the energy workers, the feminines, the naturally compassionate, the givers, a lot of us suffer, okay, under these full moon energies, especially Capricorn. And that ambition that can come from that is all the good moments. So we'll go back to our self-help basics, focus on creative projects, focus on hobbies, even focus on things that are not productive, things that have nothing accomplishment about them, except for the self-satisfaction of enjoying that hobby, that project, whatever it be, okay? It doesn't have to be getting things done. We are fucking masters at getting things done, okay? We work so damn hard to get things done, but when everything in you is telling you you cannot do that, you cannot focus in that arena right now, go straight into pleasure and make it a healthy pleasure, something that you haven't done in a long time. Reach when it's all demonic energy. I highly recommend that you reach into the inner child to kind of combat that energy, because the inner child is so strong in the face of demons, in the face of evil, in the face of, do you know what I mean? An empowered, innocent child energy that hasn't been crushed spiritually yet is so powerful to work with everything that you're going through shadow-wise right now. And it might be a lot, even if it's not yours, like we talked about to start, right? Where it's coming from around you, whether it be friends and family or just, your part of the grid out here, your little part of the grid. Okay, and then the mental space, right? Okay, so we know if the ambition is the name of the game under full moon Capricorn, and with full moons you can't avoid the energy, you really can't. New moon, it's like you get a bit of a choice, but full moon, the collective goes crazy, we know they do. So if you can focus on things that feel really good and feel really creative and it's it's ambitious and all that thing, great. And if you can't, you're just focusing on the pleasure, the whatever it is that you need to kind of get off your chest emotionally. I can tell you it's probably going to be a lot. It's a little bit surprising, the emotions, the waves of the emotions that come up, right? Because the earth energy that is Capricorn is the third dimension. So the little season that they talk about being, Satan's season or whatever, that's the third dimension that we're in. So there's a lot of rules out here that spiritually we might not understand. We don't need to understand absolutely everything. We just need to continue to walk in the healthy way, the balanced way, the spiritual path, whatever you want to call it, right? You can just be about money and about that stability and about that life, right? Like there's nothing wrong with focusing in that way, as long as you bring in the compassion, the understanding, the patience, the dominance. Like, you want to be in balance no matter who and what you are out here, especially right now when there's just so much going on. It's not just full moon Capricorn, it's like the whole world seems to be going through some kind of reset or awakening. So the academia is a huge interest right now, historical study and just any kind of, writing, putting together. Why can I not think of the words when it's like, this is where it gets difficult, right? Because there's a lot of battles going on within the air element, the ability to communicate freely, freedom of speech, saying the right thing at the right time, being understood when you try to communicate something. There's so much distortion and perversion and abuse going on within that realm. So it's like, okay, we can find a lot of interest in heavy research right now. However, whatever is, how it is with the academics, it's like you have your interest and maybe it's something brand new coming up. Who knows? But however you need to kind of deep dive into the emotions or a research project or something, I would assume it's going to be a battle, if not a balance, of everything within the mental space and then the emotional space, trying to find a way to get in there. So trying to keep it really clean and really healthy and, keep those projects rolling. And it's not about being productive. Keep that in mind. And that's the thing. It's like if you got to write it out on your mirror with like a dry erase marker or some lipstick or something, like do that, because right now is that type of time. Get your journal out. Get a new journal. I'm going to paint my fridge chalkboard and just be able to chalkboard all over my fridge all the time. Just make notes and, whatever you can do to keep that balance, because it feels like there's a heavy attack on the mental space and the balance that comes from having that thing you know, that flow state or that high production value right now. It's like there's heavy attacks in being able to do that. I would assume if you're in like, you know, trades or stocks, it's a really intense time to be in the market. Or, you know, that kind of something with a seasonal business. I can feel like that CEO energy being like super hyped right now, like gotta get it done, gotta get it done. So that's how you keep that space nice and clean, is focus on the things that they might not seem very productive, but that's what's going to allow you to produce at your highest, you know, level, the level that you're capable of producing at in the most efficient way possible. That flow state energy, right? Where you're just max production, very, very, very easy feeling. And as long as you take care of yourself outside of the flow state, you can continue to produce. So that's when we talk about alignment and all the programs and stuff that we're putting out. That's what that alignment's about. It's getting into flow so you can activate gifts, talents, skills, resources, you know, magic, all that good stuff within yourself. But it's being able to show up and do your best. And it's as simple as that, right? How do you get into flow when you're a feminine energy out here? Because everything is taught to us, especially like originally taught to us from the masculine, logical, practical standpoint. And then there's all of these sort of philosophical ideas mashed in there. So as feminines, we're separating now and understanding what productive looks like and efficient looks like from our natural energy, right? Our natural cycle, which is the moon runs our physical cycle. We can go with a 28-day cycle, and every 2 weeks we get a new, you know what I mean? That's nice. I like that. You can scrub the to-do list every 2 weeks and write a new one because the moon cycle is shifted and now the energy is shifted and the seasons are shifting, and no one knows like a woman how much time just keeps moving forward. You know, we never slow down. We never, you know, it's this constant go 365, like 24/7. You know, I'm getting a lot of that new mom energy out there, that new mom energy where it's like, you just go and go. It's like, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna fall down. I'm gonna die right now. And that energy of, well, I guess I'll just keep going till I die then. So I can feel the athletes, the moms, the people with like heavy, heavy goals. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I'm gonna do this or it's gonna kill me, but I'm gonna do this. Get rich or die trying. I remember that whole 90s movement or early 2000s. Why is there hair? There's a hair tickling my eyelashes over here. It's driving me a little crazy. Okay, we're going to start picking out our decks now. We're going to start with oracle cards like we do. Get a couple of those. And then get our tarot spread out here to open up full moon Capricorn. Finally. I'm sorry if you feel left just on your own to go through it for a week or so before we get into it. Sometimes we put out the readings ahead of time, and sometimes they're behind like they have been for like 2-3 cycles now. And it's just where we're at. It's like doing the best we can here. And that's not about me. That's about the timeline in the collective. My only intention is to read what the collective needs, right? To give those messages the collective needs, to bring my wisdom and my experience up and out for whoever needs to hear it. I know how much this kind of content affected and influenced me in my life, and I'm just trying to give back. I'm just trying to give back. That's why all of my experience, no matter what I have, I try to give it. I try to make a YouTube channel for it. Just, you know, the fashion and the beauty channel, which if you don't know, I do have another channel here on YouTube called EBINOTTI Beauty. I recommend that you go check out. It's linked down in the description box with all kinds of other goodies. And I just try to give it, you know, it's like if I've got it to give and anybody needs it, because I needed it at some point, I'm gonna give it in the way that I interpret it, or the way that I, you know, made it my own, or how it works for me. And that's the coaching right now that is available one-on-one with other peers and, you know, masters out here in the collective is insane. Like if you're not doing a coaching program, like what the fuck are you doing with yourself? Like what is your self-development? Especially if you're single and you like want love, you know, I can tell you if I'm in a very loving relationship, long term, like he's my forever, you know. But if I were sitting down in the dating pool with all the shit that's going on in the world today, I would have some serious questions. It would not just be like casual, fluffy, wuffy out here. Let's see where this goes. I'd have some serious questions. What the fuck are you doing about, you know, traumas and self-development? Where are you at with all that? Like I need to know what I'm fucking working with on the inside, and all the bling or the outfit or whatever you got going on here. That's not going to help me get in there and know, like, what the fuck, you know, what are you? What have you got going on? And that's so important, especially when we're working so hard to self-develop and build our skill set and be valuable human beings out here. You know, we don't want to just be out and about. So whether it's a breathwork class or a, you know, anything, it's like, what, and you don't have to take courses, obviously, that's now, but it's about the self skills, the self-development, the self-education, the self-regulation. Like, you know, when was the last time you put some work into yourself in any kind of, pick anything, you know what I mean? Hobbies are fine. Like, I just grabbed a coloring book that I've had for a while, and I was like, it's going to be coloring for the next, my hand is cramping, and you know, it's a completely useless sort of waste of time, but it's like doing the most for me. So coloring it is, I guess, for now. And that's the recommendation. For full moon Capricorn. Okay, I know. Looking at the cards here, we're full. Soon there will be a camera looking down so you guys can see what I call the deck, the altar that we read on. But bear with me for now. So I'm surrounded by cards, and it's time to pick cards. So the first oracle deck that we're going to use is the Goddesses. No surprise. If you've been around the second one, I'm not even, why be shocking today, you know? It's already full moon Capricorn. Do we need to shock? No, it's already there. We'll do the dragons as well. So some decks that we are very familiar with and been using quite a bit recently. Tarot, we'll figure out when we get there. Okay. I need some water. I might even do a dragon's blood incense cone today too. These are so strong. I just have an incense stick burning, if you can see that. But I might do one of these for us today too, just because the energy was so heavy sitting down. Like, I'm even a little nervous. That's why it's like we're 21.5 minutes in and still haven't pulled the cards yet. That's why we're a little nervous. And, you know, full moon Capricorn, not to be fucked with. The type of energy where it's like there is a lot going on around you, even if you don't buy into it or know anything about it. You might be completely ignorant to all of the occult and religious factions going on in your area, on your ley lines, you know. The people, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The people that run the world, you might not be religious, but they are. You know what I mean? Or you might not believe in occult magic, but they do. You know, and that's why we discuss some of the things in the way that we do, because it's like, it's important. It's important to know. It keeps coming up, guys. It keeps coming up. So you might want to have a little look-see at the map, the history, the, you know, whatever you're, again, the academias. I'm talking to the academics. If you're not interested in it's poetry and knitting for you, like, my girl. Trust me, my TikTok is full of like sourdough and like, which by the way, my TikTok just got hacked. I don't know why or how, or I'm not even relevant. I'm like less than 500 people on TikTok for EBINOTTI, the brand, but I'm just making sourdough. That's the only thing I've done lately is some makeup things and some sourdough things, and there's some outfit stuff coming, and it's like, I've done nothing. Like, okay. So if you're looking for me on TikTok and you can't find me, there's all these random accounts. Every time I try to sign in, they just make me a new account. And I'm like, no. So then I have to go delete some account. It's like it takes 30 days to delete. I'm like, that's my email address though. Like, that is for my other, and then I search my account. It's still there. Like, my account is still there. It just won't let me log in. Oh my fuck. They changed the email address that was linked to my account. My God. So, satanic energy, parasitic energy, the annoyance level being like Mach 56 out here. It's too real. So lots and lots of focus on things that are just creative outlets, emotional outlets, like anything to, you know, get it off your chest, get it out of your body, get it out of your system. Like, honestly, anything. I do recommend something healthy, like a new hobby or an old one. There's so many like exercise routines and things that have been coming up, and wanting to change, and diet and nutritional science, and there's so many things to learn, and so many areas of your life that you could, you know, really spend some time kind of hyper focused just for the sake of you know, not going round and round with the same old cycles, or not getting sucked into any kind of tempting energy, which we know is very out here under full moon Capricorn. So not getting tempted off of our path or anything like that. Trying to stay focused. And if we have to go a little crazy with a hobby and just kind of like, you know, hyper focus a little bit, then we do it. That fucking card haunts me, man, so hard. If you don't know the Goddess Oracle, welcome, because they clearly want to speak on it today. Let's just cut the deck and see who we get. I hope it's not Negig again, thank God. Ishel, and I don't even have to look at it to know Ishel and creativity, because we have seen this energy. Ooh, we have seen this energy. It's a big deck. It's a whole lot of deck. You know, and we keep getting the same energies coming out. So creativity, the hobbies, this as bottom of the deck. While we get started, we're about to shuffle and get our cards. It's going to be a theme just for us to keep in mind. It is still extremely relevant. Okay, that was fast. So I've got our 2 cards for the reading. We'll look at that in a second. Bottom of the deck, living for this. Shakti with energy. Okay, if you don't know about the chakra system and the alignment and chi or flow state or spirituality or what the fuck ever you want to call it now, that's what we talk about. That right there. The electromagnetic field that is the human body and all the energy pools, what they mean, what they represent, how they get all out of whack and start fucking with the rest of the system, and what we need to do to realign, to reset the system so we have a full, whole self to fuck with, okay? So it's about energy. What is another word for energy? We talk about it all the time. Power, okay? When we align, we activate power. Or energy. Great way to say it. Super mellow. Sulis, illness and wellness. Okay, so that's the face card for the deck for the Goddess Oracle. If you ever want to know about the cards and stuff that we use, my entire collection is listed and linked down in the description box. Beautiful card. We'll take a minute. We're going to talk about these cards quite a lot as we get into tarot too, but illness and wellness coming up again. The duality, the flip side of every coin. Sometimes on the other side of an illness that we can't really explain is the most aligned physical wellness that we've ever felt. So if you have any kind of purging going on within your system, breakouts, skin stuff, especially as we change and we evolve and we get healthier and stronger and we learn more and do better, all kinds of weird things come up in the body. So consider this to be preparation or ascension symptoms, okay? For some of us, we're well down that path, and for others of us, we're new to it, and we are, you know, focusing in that physical wellness arena for the first time. Oh, I call this one Morgana, but this is Morgan Le Fay with rhythms. Okay, so Maiden Mother Crone energy, which, shit, we have talked about. We haven't seen this card ever, I don't think, on the channel, but we've talked about Maiden Mother Crone. If you see them there communing back to back, you see the energy of back to back. Maiden Mother Crone is the 3 stages of the feminine. We read for the feminine. We are feminine, so that's how we do this. And it's very relevant. The cycles, the rhythms, as they said. So a lot of things coming up for that, be it music or sound or vocalizing, singing. There's an energy of kind of singing if you see the vibration here. So singing it, speaking it, getting in sync with it on a vibrational level, whether that's, you know, breathing exercises where you do the Om, you know, and do all the chanting for these chakra systems. I prefer tuning forks and music bowls, singing bowls and stuff like that. I love music boxes too. That's why I just pulled out my music boxes, but to help the alignment, right? Because there's a huge shift in the collective for the feminine right now, where the maiden becomes the mother becomes the crone, you know, and then the next generation is born. So regardless of, you know, whether or not you have the children or you are the crone, this is the energy of those cycles shifting collectively. So this is where inheritances get passed down, power gets moved around, you know. And we get to align to new things because there are new titles available to us. We've crossed out of our maidenhood or our motherhood into the next phase of the feminine. So we're talking about those rhythms and those cycles and where we're at on the timeline. So I like how everything is about energy and both sides, illness and wellness. The natural rhythms of back and forth and constant, because like I said, the feminine energy, especially the mothers and the ambitious females, know what it's like to constantly be moving 365, 24/7. So making sure the mental space, the physical body, everything is nice and healthy and strong and functioning and not clogged up. So lots of different things, lots of work to be done there. Taking the time to do what needs to be done because it's important. You know, when we stop resisting, we know that 30:30 on the clock or 3:3 coming up on the clock. I like it. Again, the occultist sort of satanic energy always at play, and that's why the vibration here, no matter what your intention when you call out, you know, within this realm, it's heard by all. And that's kind of the energy here, is again staying in alignment so that we do not get tempted off of path, especially the more you do in your authentic power. Even if you don't feel like you're doing anything, you're like, man, I've been like coloring or knitting or, you know, doing nothing interesting, productive, influential, you know, impactful to the collective, and yet I'm surrounded by demonic energy. I'm constantly being like attacked or tempted or whatever. Because when you align to your true power and you activate power, other power, good, bad, and ugly, comes out to take a sniff. You know, that's how it is on the playground here with the other doggies. 31:31 on the clock, 4/4, as we get Archangel Gabriel's dragon. Damn, we have seen this dragon a lot, huh? With the white. And I like how both our goddess cards are very much so based in white, which we'll look at again. Archangel Gabriel's dragon brings purification, indeed. So that tells you how demonic at the very least, if not within you, the atmosphere around you can be, potentially, if not right now. And what I mean by within you is like, you know, where we give into our lesser, baser nature, where we do things that harm us, when we, you know, become our worst enemy, get in our way, self-doubt, give into fears, we perpetuate you know, that's part of us playing with demons too, right? Oh my God, my hair's tickling my back right now above my shorts. Okay, it feels like a spider or something's crawling on me, and there's like so many spiders right out the window. Like behind you is a big window of just trees and nature, which means spiders. Okay, self-discipline will speed ascension and bring joy. You can carry Archangel Gabriel's diamond. Now the great time to carry the diamonds. And let's not forget how satanic that energy has been with the diamonds in our timeline. Because we know, oh my God, they're shiny and they're beautiful. So it's probably tainted all up in that space. And indeed it is. Okay, it's time to pick out our tarot deck. What the fuck? I don't want to do it, but they want it. Okay, we're taking the Tarot of the Fairies. Actual name is the Fairy Tarot. Oh, we're gonna light other cards on fire here. It's just a really stiff deck, and it's a beautiful deck. I love it, but I like to stick to the traditional imagery typically, so this is a bit of a fanciful deck, and that's fine. We're going to roll with it today. It's color coordinated for the elements, so keeps it nice and simple for you. Here we go. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say about it. Morgan Le Fay being out here as one of the goddesses again brings up that like occult, you know, you might want to look into your, again, the history of your ley lines or your location on the map, any of the history of the lore, the mythology, the magic of those people or your people. Oh, excuse me. All the things. There might be some interesting things to be known in there for you. We love to talk cinema and stuff like that. So what I'm getting off of that is Morgana from the show Merlin. Have you ever seen that one? It was like such a goofy sort of show, but I loved it. It was so well done. Tripping. Anyways. Okay. So that's the only thing really coming up for that. Pretty much. All that, you know, King Arthur kind of stuff. On the bottom of the deck, to get us started as a theme, we have the Queen of Summer, or the Queen of Water. Okay, so Queen of Cups is that compassionate feminine energy that we were talking about. It's a great healing energy because it's a safe space. It's supportive, you know, so when you are really, really, really sick and you like need someone to help take care of you because you're so ill, that's the energy of the Queen of Cups. So we're coming into this extremely feminine, capable of healing or being healed, whether we need that supportive energy or we're creating it for others. That's that type of softness and skill set, to nurture, to care for, to understand, to sometimes it's like a friend just needs to talk, they call you. Even if you feel burdened by it sometimes or drained, you know, people only call you when they're in distress. You know, your choice, whether or not that's worth it for you, but that is the energy of that type of a feminine, even if you're a guy. Okay, we got our first card out, and it is another water element, the Four of Cups, or the Four of Summer coming up here. So Four of Cups is discontented, from illness to wellness and back again. We struggle sometimes, you know, but this is on the path, and it's an extremely stable energy once it gets going. So it's prepping emotionally a little bit here for wellness. And again, that might be bringing up all kinds of purging, or there might be karmic lessons. There might be shit going on in your ley lines. Whether it's in your control or out of your control, the message is the same. It's to stay focused. To stay focused on the positive, on the wellness of things. You know, don't ignore. You know, don't be upset by the things that aren't working out. Just try to find that focus and that balance. You know, and do the best you can, because that's really what it comes down to. It's just being able to do the best that you can. Appreciate things and not miss it. You know, you really want to see the things that are in front of you that are worth something. So trying to calm the mental space with the emotions here. And that's pretty natural, especially when there's, again, so much energy and potency in the collective. Regardless of where you are on the ley lines, there's just a lot of energy around us, and it's not great for all of us. Some of us, the energy around is so good that it's like easy to catch hold of, you know, but for others it's not that easy. So it's about creating those spaces for yourself, and trying to stick to them, because it's not always easy up in the vessel. You know, there's a lot going on in here with the aspects and being able to break down the elements, the chakra systems like we saw with Shakti, being able to, you know, focus on one thing at a time so that you can get clear about what it is that you might be feeling discontent about or stress over, frustrated by. If your energy is kind of tapping you out, you want to look at, you know, what it is emotionally that's bothering you. Second card out, we get another 4 back to back. So it's the second time we've seen 44 in this reading, because it came up on the clock and I called it 3131. So 4 coming out again. Major Arcana number 4, the Emperor, divine masculine energy. So the masculine, for us females, we all have masculine and feminine energy within us, and we like to keep those aspects of the soul in balance as well. So here the masculine is, you know, very focused and very driven and ambitious and clear about what the goal is and what the projects at hand, that, you know, the priority of things and the core values and all of that. Again, a great practice is getting a journal and clarifying some of those things if you are struggling in that arena. But here the feminine, with the water coming out first, it's the feminine that's really struggling to allow the masculine energy to take hold, be in control, be trusted, supported, nurtured, so that it can execute. And that's the thing, there's a lot of trust that comes into that. The 4 here is, this 4 of Cups is about, you know, having the patience and understanding that you're this close, that you've done the work to really get, you know, that it might not have worked out 3 times in a row, but you got everything you needed to make it work the 4th time. And the masculine knows what work is necessary and is willing to do it, but emotionally there is a struggle, because when disappointment or fear kicks in, or whatever it is, kind of getting in the way, because even if there was no disappointment or fear or anything coming up from within you, it'll come from around you under this energy, just to make sure you're oppressed. Like parasites tend to desire, that's, you know, is to oppress your energy and your power so that they of it can have more. So definitely not focusing or giving a shit about that, and what somebody's, you know, distorted desires could be. It's focusing on ours so that we are in alignment. That's the part where we can control. Okay, central energy, and the 3rd card out, Major Arcana, right side by side with the Emperor. Major Arcana number 2, the High Priestess. So the Emperor is, you know, the King of Kings of the physical realm. That's a divine masculine energy. The High Priestess is definitely a divine feminine energy, but of the cosmos, of the ether. So I love that we're reading ether, and the High Priestess is our central energy, our most important, you know, central card. Because this is the all-knowing, knowing of the mysteries, knowing of the secrets, the understanding of the deeper, darker elements out here to be had. The High Priestess knows it all. If you see that big book there, that's the great wisdom that is always kept by her. So deep down, we know, the higher self knows what is required and what needs to be done. And if we can just lean into that, then we'll feel safe and calm, and it'll be all wellness all the time, and surrender. Look at the beautiful surrender energy there of the light and what's coming in as well as what's going out. And also of the rhythms, the natural cycles that we're in. There's so little that we do get to control, and even though that can be extremely powerful and we can have massive impacts on each other and on history and on the planet and all of those wonderful things, there's, you know, not everything is in our control, and a lot of it isn't when we really get down to it. So the natural cycles, that's the original surrender, the original acceptance, which we talk about quite a bit, but we haven't in a while, which is our mortality, accepting the fact that we're mortal, you know, and we're in our cycle that we're in, and that's that, you know, and we can do anything we want within that cycle, but we are in that cycle. So the self-love, the self-nurture, the surrender, you know, the holy, I'm just feeling so much of the prayers and surrenders and acceptance and all the emotions coming up to the surface through those waters. Very beautiful, very healing energy, very strong within the feminine. The masculine, again, energy, even though it's in alignment because it's the Emperor out here, we're really struggling with what to do, how to trust, you know, all of the feminine aspects of it not being masculine. So not answering all the questions, doing all the work, taking the action, completing the equation. It's like all of the creative stuff, creative solutions, but not our responsibility to, you know what I mean? Wow, back to back divine feminine energy. Look at this. Major Arcana, bang, 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 3 in a row. So we went from the Emperor to the High Priestess, now to the Empress. So on either side of our central energy, we have the Emperor over here and the Empress over here now. Divine counterparts, like all of the love and alignment that you could possibly imagine within yourself, in the world around you, in your personal life is available to you. No doubt about it. Look no farther. How many times do we have to tell you about the alignment? Look no further than the alignment of the feminine, physically and spiritually, to bring in all of the wealth, the power and energy, the divine masculine counterpart and capable, responsible, skilled, beautiful, you know, people that we need, be it business partners, lovers, friends, for our children, for our peers. You know, this is the collective really stepping it up, coming together and creating in new ways, really stepping up their game. Like, whew, feels like a whole new ball game out here, I just heard. Yes, indeed. Okay, we need one more in our 5-card spread, and then we will get our clarifiers. These babies barely fit on the slate that we read on as an altar or a deck. But that's okay, because the fairies and the fae realm wanted to come out and speak on it. It's very feminine. The message today is very feminine. We don't always, you know, focus on the feminine just because we read feminine energy, or for the feminine collective. We don't always focus on feminine, but today it's everything. The cards, the energy, it's very feminine. Okay, we got quite a few, so let's see. 5th card out, King of Water, coming up as the King of Summer. So we started with water in our 5-card spread, and we're finishing with water. First clarifier, I just want to see it. It's clarifying our 4 of water. We get Major Arcana 21, the World. So that explains the frustration, the fear, the boredom, and everything coming up, because that is the completion of a major life cycle. It's a huge completion. It takes time before the next cycle can open up physically in front of us. Usually we're the thing taking the most time in that situation, but not always. Sometimes you never know why. Clarifying our Emperor, we have Satan himself, card number 15 of the Major Arcana, coming up as Ego. So we're going to talk about the issues. Before we get into that, we got to finish out the original 5-card spread and talk about the 5th card, King of Water. So King of Cups is a very emotionally balanced. This is the masculine, again, representing here as being the balanced one. So it's interesting that it's going to come up, as we already saw, clarified by Satan himself. Okay, so here this is mastery, all of the logic. It's like, I say to my mom sometimes, it's so easy to understand it, but it's not always easy to bring it into the 3D. The Empress being a representation of Mother Earth, the 3rd dimension, the fruitful nature and mothering energy that we all get to live under or on this planet, in this dimension, however you want to look at that. So the balance here is really beautiful, but there's still, when fear or ego comes into it, like we're going to see, things can get really tricky in here, because emotionally, if we're stable enough, it should be natural for it to come to us as females, because we're an attractive energy. You know, there's no effort. It's constant hard work, of course, but no effort. It's the natural. There's always energy there. There's always abundance. There's always resources. That's that alignment. And when the masculine is in that type of balance, a beautiful, productive, balanced energy. So we know, though, you know, that's as soon as you start really vibing out here, you're going to get intruders. Intruder alert. I just heard. Indeed. Okay. So let me grab my coffee, but we'll talk about our first clarifier here. The World card, talking about the ending of the cycle and why we're so damn bored or stressed, or, you know, getting impatient, like starting to lose focus or interest, or, you know, just balance and alignment. Like we've worked so damn hard and now it's slipping a little bit, but this is the reminder that you've completed a massive cycle, you know, and there's a huge congratulations in order that you have done everything that was necessary, and whatever's coming up now will only be explained in time. You know, that it's only a matter of time before things make sense as to why they're going down the way they're going, and just keep the faith and stay emotionally in balance and fill up your frustrated time with healthy habits and, you know, things that make you feel good, because coming next, as we know, the Emperor clarified by the devil. The devil. So it's not a joke that when we're very close to getting the things that we want, that, you know, some stanky parasitic energy gets in there and tries to throw us off our game. So look at the Divine Masculine being on attack right now. And that's been going for a long time. It's not just, we talk a lot about the feminine suppression in the cosmos since the beginning of time, but let's not forget for 1 second that the Divine Masculine is also under attack from a parasitic force. you know, trying to suppress and distort and pervert up and be constantly giving abuse to divine masculine. So, you know, attack from all sides. This is why it's so important to stay in alignment right now. Let's have some coffee. Cheers to you. But it's true though, you know, that whether you're struggling to, you know, trust the masculine within yourself, the masculines around you, just know that a lot of that fearful energy is coming from the ego. It's coming from a fear-based place or a parasitic place, so influence, or from within you. Previous influence, I just heard. Exactly. If there's any of that fearful energy within the system, you got to get it out of there. You got to get it out of there, you know. You want to be fully active and aligned so that when action is called, the emperor isn't distorted, right? What happens when the leaders, the emperors and the empresses, what happens when the leaders are distorted or evil, when they've completely flipped? I mean, look at the world, right? You can find some evidence for that if you have a look-see. So just keeping in mind that there's a lot going on around us, a lot going on within us. This is what we're working on right now, getting the parasitic energy out, activating our own masculine, feminine in balance, especially if we're dating. We want things like love, and it's not just money that we're doing tarot for today, right? Like, this is the balance. And if you're actually just balancing the energy, then there's the message too, is keeping an eye around you, because there's, you know, when you do activate, there's always going to be something come in and try to throw you off your game. So you don't have to be fearful. You don't have to be looking over your shoulder, but you need to be in alignment. Okay, let's get our last three clarifiers out here, and then it's a wrap, and we have fully opened full moon Capricorn with the ether element, the collective. I love that the high priestess again is central energy, because with all of these characters out here, emperor, empress, high priestess, ego, the, you know, Satan, king of water, all of that, it just seems that there are going to be a lot of things at play that we do have to surrender to or adapt to, and we want to be fully aligned to be able to activate when the time comes. Central energy, ooh, 7 of Pentacles. So there's a patience being called here for the collective. Full moon Capricorn again is earth element with Capricorn. So, you know, financially ambitious, career-wise, anything in the physical world that, you know, it could be your physical body, your physical garden, your physical home, and then obviously like money and all that good stuff. So career, and there's a deep knowing the higher self is very much so in alignment. All the law of attraction, detachment, all the wonderful laws of the universe in alignment here. We don't want to lose it right at the very end. So keeping a good eye on things, knowing that the hard work has been done, and instead of getting bored and being ungrateful out here, it's trying to keep a better focus than that, trying to keep a better mentality than that. Emperors and empresses, typically, since they rule kings and queens, they don't really, you know, do shallow conversations, or, you know, they just, actually, that being said, that's mostly their work, you know, is the surface. It's important stuff, but it's listening to complaints and problems and yada, and then the real work gets done. You know, once they understand very clearly what the problems are in the eyes of the people, they can go to their council, they can sit with their councils, and get the work done. So here it's like just knowing where the work is done. The work has been done. There's no work to be done. I don't know how much more times we could possibly say that before it really sinks in. So you see him just chilling there, contemplating, having a little slice. So just chilling, tending to once the work's done, chilling. And if we're not doing the work, then that's the obvious message, right? With the earth element and ambition, there's no room for error there. It's just practical and logical. You need to get the work done. Whatever you think the work is, though, not, you know, some other opinions. Clarifying the Empress in our 4th row, we get the 6 of Water. So again, the inner child energy, the mother child relationship is coming up quite a bit as well, whether it's you and your parent or you and your children, or just being in the Empress phase, the mother phase of the feminine, okay? So here the inner child work is being done. Again, we're having lots of fun in that realm. There's lots of gifts to be received in that realm as well. If we start with the Four of Cups being about, you know, some kind of an offer from spirit that, you know, is the offer. This is an offer as well, and it's coming again from spirit. It could be a physical person coming and bringing you gifts as well. If you want to tune into those kind of alignments, you absolutely can. But this is receiving in a big way, in an honest way, a joyous way. So receiving things that really actually make you joyful, satisfy deep parts of yourself as a woman, the inner child, different aspects of the soul, but as a woman. So this is being highly, highly satisfied as a woman. And if you've been really struggling anywhere emotionally within that arena, this is where the 3 and the 6 really do balance out. We saw the masculine, feminine, Emperor on one side, Empress on the other. You know, they're the most capable kings and queens because they rule kings and queens. So it's like they get new titles. You know, there's a lot of energy, a lot of support, a lot of filling of the cup coming in here. So a receiving. It is very, very, very difficult for modern woman to receive. You know, that's the part where the attack has come in and all those channels have been corrupted and perverted and abused, so that it's difficult for modern women to receive. So really tapping into that Empress, Queen Mother of all queens kind of energy and receiving on that level, because there's a lot to be had here, okay? That's beautiful. That's a really powerful, really beautiful energy. It's making my heart space just feel all big and full and wonderful. So being appreciated, loved, you know, you got to let that in though, because if you don't want to see it, then no one's going to make you feel it, right? So you have to lean into it. Lean into it, okay? And you might feel like, oh, with all the emperors, empresses, Satan, high priests, top priestesses, all these people out here, you might think there's no time for that kind of soft, gentle, romantic, compassionate. I'm telling you right now, is one of the most important things that you could focus on right now, for sure, without a doubt. That's the clear message coming through. It's the purification of self, right? And the energy and the atmosphere for whatever it is that you're manifesting and creating, whatever you worked so dang hard for. So I would focus there. I would focus there. Don't say I didn't tell you to focus there if it doesn't work. I don't want to hear you in the programs being like, it's not working. I'm gonna call you on it. I can't wait to launch the program. Divine Feminine Alignment program is coming out very, very soon. They're deprogram programs. You know how we all been programmed just a little? They're the reprogram program. Eventually, I'm sure, if I get the chance, I will create an institution. Again, the academics really want to come out and play a little bit. So what are you reading? What are you loving? What are you researching? Are you deep diving into anything? You know, if it's personal, that's cool. But if you want to share, by all means share. I'm constantly sharing and talking about cinema, movies, and books. We don't do too much of my research subjects because it's not about me. Did you see that baby fly? She's right on top and we'll take it. Ooh, and it's a heavy one. It's a big one. And bottom of the deck, we get the Six of Wands. We'll talk about that in a second. Our fifth and final clarifier, another major arcana. No surprise there. It's been a big one in terms of the readings, right? Full moon Capricorn twice in a row. You know it's going to be big messages. So major arcana number 20 is the Judgment card, coming up as renewal, because it's about death and rebirth. It's about, you know, having a whole new cycle begin for you. We saw that when we had the World card out here as our first clarifier. These are massive cycles. Okay, so again, if you're feeling emotionally a little stunted, struggling, murky up in your waters, is it murky? We already know that this is about purification. The natural cycles as we go through as feminines, as we go through You know, that purification, again, I'm feeling like a purification by fire energy, and it's like, yikes. Purity by fire, we've been through in the collective over the last couple moon cycles. So if you're going through that now, again, hang out on the channel, spend some time, watch the other moon cycle readings, and see if you're, you know, on that timeline, because we've been through that. So there's lots of support, lots of energy there for you, because we've already processed that. However that goes for you. So the feminine here, going through the natural cycles, the masculine getting the renewal, and it's more, you know, through the masculine, the counterparts of the feminine, she gets her renewal, because this is really a feminine issue. I'm feeling the clogginess coming from, because there's been so much, you know, come through the timelines and the cosmos for all the females, that there's some things that we're processing that we just signed up for and we just forgot. We forgot we signed up to process that thing. So we're like, what the hell's going on with my body? What's going on with my skin? What's going on with my there's all kinds of shit, you know? So if that's part of your process, you'll know, because you'll feel that tune and that alignment. And just know that the other side of things coming very, very quickly here. The flip side of it is coming very, very quickly. I like need to do better than that with putting the cards all down, you know? They need to go back where they go, though. Everybody has a spot. Okay, and bottom of the deck, Six of Wands. Final message, and then it's a wrap. This is a huge amount of success coming in for you. As a theme, though, this is what you already know. So central energy is the High Priestess, and the message that the High Priestess is receiving is about that patience with the Seven of Earth. Again, Capricorn being a highly ambitious type of energy, and full moon being a full illumination of all the aspects underneath that, dark and light within you. So think of where your ambitions are not fulfilled. You've had a lot of history in that arena. We all have that with things like money and health and body image and self-love. That is a physical thing that comes from, you know, doing some work in that arena. Self-loathing even more strong right now. So, you know, it's being really, really real, and understanding where we've had massive amounts of success, and knowing that that's the type of work that is completed. Deep down, we do know that, or again, in the higher self, we do know that. But the work is done. It's time to tend things and make sure that all of that effort was not wasted, because the success is already complete. Okay, even if that part hasn't come in for us yet, like a little hesitation on example. Oh my god, it's such a good example. You win the lottery, right? And you like swipe your ticket and it's like boom, you win. Okay, you have to like go to the place to cash your ticket to get the finances dropped. And then there's like all these things that you have to do. So you have to like, you know, do a little interview. They have to take your information. You have to like release certain documents. You have to give them like your accounts. Like there's a process to it. But would you not spend like, you know, taking the week off work, or, you know, quit your job, I guess, if you win the lottery? Some people are like, I can hear like the earth signs being like, I wouldn't quit until I knew for sure the money was in my account. If you work really hard for the career that you have, abso-fucking-lutely, I get the mentality, right? You're like, no, because there's all this shit you have to do. They make you jump through all these fucking hoops. Like, you know, that's all I'll believe it when I see it kind of energy. So you want to put the effort in. You want to make sure you understand the success and the level of your work paying off that's coming to you, so you don't miss it. You know what I mean? You don't want to just toss that ticket or not show up and do the two things. You have sign here, sign there, give me your direct deposit check, take a photo and tell me how you feel because you won the lottery. You can be anonymous. You can be, you know, or maybe you can't be anonymous. You got to give them your name. You wouldn't give them your name? Like, you know, it's like these aren't going to be things that are pushing on your spiritual, moral compass. You know, these are going to be things that you'd be more than fucking happy to switch some things around so you can get this done because of the payoff, right? You put a ton of effort in this arena. You want to get the payoff now. So making sure that we don't have a super pessimistic mentality, making sure we're healthy within the mental space, so that we're producing and also receiving at our highest levels. And that's what that whole shebang is about. That's what the whole alignment that we talk about is about. Okay, and we're going to leave that one right there. That's it. It's a wrap. We finally got full moon Capricorn open with the ether element. Very excited to get into the rest of the elementals and see what other messages come up under this moon cycle for us. As I mentioned earlier in the video, new moon Leo is coming in hot. We are already about a week into Leo season. Summer is full swing here in northern British Columbia, Canada. We're loving it. It's a beautiful day today, so I'm going to get outside and do some things for myself to take care of myself and all those great things. So that's it. Anything you need down in the description box. If not, leave a comment or send me an email and we'll get you what you need, do bookings, all that wonderful stuff. Business inquiries via email, please. And that's it. So love you so much, and I will see you on your next reading.